Hello and welcome to this lecture. And in this lecture we will go ahead and add the edit functionality or update functionality to our application. So just as we have this add functionality over here, we will go ahead and design the edit functionality for each individual items in a similar fashion. So let's hop back to our code right here, and the first thing which you need to do over here is that you need to go ahead and, as usual, you first need to go ahead and set up the URL pattern for the edit functionality. So we'll go ahead and right after the path for creating items, I'll go ahead and type in something like, let's say, edit. And in here we'll create a path. So the path is going to say something like, let's say, update, because we want to update items. And now along with this update, you also need to pass in the ID of the item which you want to edit, because in the add functionality you can simply go ahead and randomly add any item. It has got nothing to do with the ID, but whenever you're editing a particular item, you need to make sure that you get its ID, because you only want to edit that specific item and not any other one. So now along with the update over here, you also go ahead and pass in the ID. So I can type in int ID over here, just as we have done right over here, and give a slash after that. Okay, so once you have the specific path mentioned, now we go ahead and add a view to this as well. So we'll type in views dot, I'll name this view as update underscore item, and I'll give it the same name as well, which is update underscore item. Now as usual, this is going to show you an error because this view does not exist at the moment. Now once we have created this, in the add functionality, what we have done here is that we had created a form right here. But in case of update functionality, you don't need to specifically go ahead and create this item form right here. And the main reason for that is because we are actually going to go ahead and use the same item form for the edit as well. So this is one step you need to skip for now. That is, you don't want to go ahead and create another edit form right here. So now you can go to the views over here and create the views directly. So let me just go to views.py file, and just as we have created the view for create item, I'll again go ahead create a view for the update item as well. So I'll type in update underscore item, and in here I'll type in request. And along with the request, as I earlier mentioned, this is also going to accept the ID of the item which we want to edit. So now, first of all, even before we have a form here, first we get access to the item which we want to edit. So we type in item equals item.objects.get, and we get the item whose ID is going to be equal to ID. Now once we go ahead and do that, we again use the same syntax for form which we have used here. So we'll create a form object over here by typing in form equals item form, and now in here you need to type in request dot post or none. And now along with this, you also need to pass this item to this particular form, because when you go ahead and edit a particular item, this item data should already be present inside the form. So in order to pass that data, you simply go ahead, give a comma, and type in instance equals, and then pass in the item over here. As simple as that. And then after that, as usual, we type in if form dot is valid in order to check the validity of the form. If the form is valid, we go ahead and save the data for the form. So form.save, and then we return a redirect, and we redirect to the index page as usual. So we type in food : index. And now the final thing which we do is that we render a template. So we type in return render, and this is going to accept a request, and we are going to pass in the template as well. So that's going to be food slash, and we will pass in the same template here, which is item form. So I'll type in item-form.html, and here for the context, we are actually going to pass in two things. First is we'll pass in the form as usual, because we do need the form, and along with this form you also need to go ahead and pass this particular item as well. So I'll type in item : item. So now once we go ahead and do that, we are now good to go. So now if you want to edit one of those items, you simply have to go to food/update, and then you need to specify the ID of the item which you want to update. So in my case, I want to edit the item number 1. So I go ahead and hit enter, and here I will have the option to edit the item. So now if I go ahead and type in edited pizza over here and click save, as you can see, the name of the first item changed to edited pizza. Now this actually works fine, but what we want to do is that we want to have a button over here for each item, so that whenever we click one of these buttons, it's going to redirect us to the edit page, and we don't have to manually add in the URL to edit each one of those items. So we are going to implement that functionality in the upcoming lecture, but for now, hopefully you guys be able to understand how to implement the edit functionality. So the only thing which we have done here is that we have set up the urls.py file for the edit functionality or the update functionality. We have created the view which is called as the update item view over here, and we have simply extracted the item which we want to edit, and we have passed that item as an instance to the form. And the only difference is that we need to pass an item along with the form as well, because that data of the item needs to be edited. And for this, you don't have to explicitly go ahead and create a form here as we have created for the item form. We have simply used the same form over here and created the object out of it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.